Well, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate you taking some time. This is our first professional development chapter call this calendar year, which seems crazy that it's already almost the end of March. So we know that there's probably quite a few new folks on the call. So we're going to be doing some review for those of you who've been around for a little while. But we're going to go ahead and get started. So our agenda today, we're going to take a look at we're going to talk about the course calendar, which we've called the Institute course calendar, the professional development course calendar. We're going to talk a little bit about the Learning Give Back program, which we introduced starting in July. We're going to talk about how you host a class, what steps you need to take, and how to be successful in those offerings, and then direct deposits, and then I think Charles is supposed to join us and talk a little bit about what's new. If not, I will wing it. So here we go. Okay, so for those of you who are new, we introduced, we have been doing NIGP hosted courses for many years since COVID hit. And we have expanded that calendar so that there's 12 months of learning out there on our website. This allows people to plan their professional development. It helps with budgeting. So, you can go to your boss and say, here, these are the 5 classes I want to take. And I know that what's happening through February of 2025. With member, if you're an NIGP member, you can save 20% off the standard registration fee if you register 60 or more days in advance of the course. So you can get more for your money. Planning ahead, getting those discounts, you can perhaps take more classes. This also supports the NIGP Concierge program. If you're not familiar with that, that's a program that is run by our chief, I always get his title wrong, Todd, who heads up our content team. He runs that program. We have several volunteers, including Cheryl Mankey, if you're familiar with her, that help people go through where they're trying to go, what they need to learn. And then also we work with entities as well to do succession planning and that sort of thing. There is information on our website if you're not familiar with the concierge program. So how does this affect you as a chapter? Well, you can still continue to host courses if you so choose, both virtual and in person. We have seen a slight uptick, very slight, in-person courses. I've talked to several of you. I know that some of your folks in your areas are looking to get back in person, so we're happy to help with that. You can choose to host virtually as well. For virtual courses, if you want to offer them, we ask that you please go out to our website and look at the course calendar that's already built and out there. We have lots and lots of classes out there to allow for this pre-planning. And so you can go out to our website, you can go to the learning tab, search for a course, and the easiest way is to search by month, so that you can go in, and if you think you want to host a specialization in technology procurement on October 5th, you can look and see what we already have scheduled. And if we don't have something scheduled around that time, then it's possible that we could host that for you virtually. So take a look at that calendar as you're planning your year or your 6 months, however far out your chapter plans your learning calendar. And then, we'll talk a little bit about how you request those courses and how you work with Karen on my team in a bit. So chapters will continue to earn a 10% rebate on gross revenues for both virtual and in-person courses that the chapter hosts. We do have a program I talked a little bit about. We started in July. That's this 5% for members identifying themselves with the chapter. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And chapters who just decide they can't or don't want to can earn money with that program. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. Here we go. So the Give Back program, we started again back in July. We initiated the program to allow for every chapter the ability to earn a little bit of money that goes back into your operating budget so that you can support your members. for every person who registers for an NIGP hosted virtual course, and they identify themselves as a member of your chapter, you get 5% of that fee. So whatever they're registering for, you get 5%. We add it up at the end of every quarter. We take a look at those, and then we will notify you about what has been earned. You need to make sure that you're letting your chapter members know that this is a benefit for your chapter, and that by them doing this, they help support your efforts and your programs. There is a drop down box as you register online where you have to choose a chapter. It's a required field. They have to go all the way to the bottom to choose none. So we want to make sure everybody's making that effort to know that they want to select their chapter. So make sure you've got that out on your websites, that you're talking about that during your chapter meetings and that sort of thing. If somebody has to do a fillable form and send it to us because they're doing a PO or they need some other help, there is a spot on that registration form for them to fill in your chapter, and then our team will take care of that on the back end. So we want to make sure that you guys are educating your chapter members to make sure that they're selecting your chapter. And even if they're not chapter members, but they're people you're talking to who, may want to join, they're in your area, just tell them, hey, help us out, go ahead and select our chapter so that we can get some funding back into our operating budgets. So how do you know if you've earned money? So we do this quarterly, as I said. We just completed, just a few weeks ago, completed the Q2. We work on a government fiscal year, so July to June. So any chapter that earned a rebate as part of this program received an email directly from me with the amount. And if you don't have direct deposit set up with us, we've mentioned that in the email, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. So just some interesting information. Here are the results of the first 2 quarters. The first quarter was a bit slow. We also had fewer classes. It's pretty typical for an IGP to not host, or chapters to not host so many classes in the first quarter, because you've got summer, you got vacations, we have forum in August. So it's a little bit quieter than the second quarter. We paid 41 chapters, a total of about $3,000. And the lowest payout was somewhere around $10, but the highest payout was somewhere around $200. For the number of people who identified themselves with a particular chapter, 14 was the highest for Q1. We did a bit better in Q2. We had 45 chapters were paid, total payout of just over $4,000. Again, lowest payout was 10, and the highest payout was almost $600. So that's a 2-day class that you can give back to your chapter members with this money that you're earning. And the highest number of registrants affiliating themselves with the chapter was 26. So I think it's catching on, but again, we want to continue to educate your members about making sure that they're selecting your chapter so that you can continue to earn that money. And my slide, here we go. So rebate checks, whether you're hosting and you earn the 10% or you've earned a 5% give back payout, we do this by direct deposit in the US. So if you received an email from me and we don't have your direct deposit information, we included a form for you to fill out and asked you to send that back to myself or to our bookkeeper, to Dent, so that we can get that information in so we can pay you. You can also contact Karen. Most of you know Karen. She's on the call today as well, feeling a little under the weather. So she's here to answer any questions that I can't answer. But if you don't know how to do that, sorry, if you haven't given us your direct deposit information, you can contact Karen and we can get that to you. For Canadian chapters, we process e-checks. It's a little bit different, I guess, and your bank has to accept e-checks. So if we're having issues with any of our Canadian chapters, please reach out to us and we'll see how we can work that out. This is the way to receive money quicker. It's direct deposited into your account, and no need to get a check and cache that. So definitely the best way to handle it. I know, and I've heard from a couple of you that you've had a change of officers, bank accounts have changed, that sort of thing. So if that's going on in your chapter, if you'll just reach out to Karen or myself or events@nigp.org, we can get that form to you and we can get your information updated. Okay, so let's talk about why you may want to host classes. So, you know, not only do you earn money for your chapter, which is definitely a benefit, but this provides educational opportunities for your chapter members who need contact hours or continuing education units for certifications and that sort of thing. So definitely there are benefits for hosting. The main, obviously, if you host, you earn the 10%. Okay, so how do we host a class? So there is a section on the website, and if we need to, if there's any questions that come up in the chat, Jen's watching that, we can go to the website and show you. There is a chapter section on the website. So go to the chapter page, and there is an area that says host a NIGP course. And so there's all kinds of tips, there's steps on what you should do. Again, we talked a little bit about the first thing you probably want to do, and we ask you to do, is go out and look at our calendar, go see what's out there and what's already posted, and, you know, take a look at opportunities to fill in other places. Unless it's face-to-face, then of course, if it's a face-to-face course and you want to do it in your area, we're happy to schedule that at any time. There's a course request form there that you need to fill out, and that goes directly to Karen, and it asks you the location, if it's virtual, if it's in person, lots of questions, and you can fill in the courses that you want to take. And then once we get that information and we confirm courses, then there's a toolkit available there for you on that page. And we can, of course, help and assist in that way. So in the next process here, we're going to talk a little bit about how that kind of plays out. So once we get the form, Karen will reach out and get an instructor assigned. Once it's scheduled, that gets passed on to another member of my team. It gets put into our database and posted to the website. Once that happens, you'll get an email as the professional development chair of the chapter, and the instructor gets a copy so they know that they've been assigned. And once you get that notification, then you should start marketing that course or the e-courses, however many you've scheduled with us, right away. And again, we've got that marketing toolkit on the chapter section of the site for you to look at. We also market the classes. So if you receive our learning newsletter, which comes out, I think Tuesdays or Wednesdays, either one. We promote, you know, the advanced ones 60+ days out so that you can take advantage of those discounts, and then courses that are coming up immediately. So we do spend some time marketing those classes as well.
Carrie, can I just interrupt for just a quick question? And I don't know that we know the answer to this, but I want to get it while I have it here. It says, will NIGP looking down the line to have the host a course on the back end of the chapter website so that ProDs can see what classes we've submitted and have communicated with Karen on there? So I'm assuming, Rebecca, you're talking about if you're on Club Express and hosting a class, if you would confirm that, because if not, I'm not sure. I mean, Karen can certainly run a report at any time to tell you what classes you've hosted. Carrie, I don't know that that's anything we've ever looked at or thought of before.
Yeah, I'd have to talk to Ronnie about Club Express to see if that's even a capability. The system we use now, excuse me, is it's form stack. So it's basically a fillable form that then just comes directly to us. You can, as far as I know, you should get a confirmation of the form stack, or you can print it out so that as you've filled it out, you can print it and you can keep track of what you've requested. But we would have to talk to Ronnie about whether or not there's any connection, or if we could create a form on the chapter websites. The downside is then we would have two processes because not everybody's on Club Express. So those are, you know, some process issues that we would have to consider.
And Rebecca's firm, she was talking about, meaning can they request them through Club Express? And I don't think that's that's where we're at close to right now. But Karen, correct me, we can send them quarterly or half a year classes that they've done to keep an inventory of that.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody is unsure of what they've requested, they can ask me and I can run a report that shows whatever date parameter they'd like, that shows what they've got coming up or anything they've done in the past. I can do that. It's not something that I would know just to go out and do. You'd have to request it from me if you wanted it. I wouldn't be able to remember who requested classes and go out and automatically send it to them.
Okay. Okay, Carrie, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Just interrupt me anytime if I'm going
Okay.
going a little crazy over here. So, confirming a course. So once we get it posted and we're marketing it, we're getting people registered. We have parameters in place that the chapter and NIGP, for that matter, has to meet in order for a class to confirm. So our minimum requirement for both in-person and virtual is 12. We introduced this last year in the May timeframe, and that kicked in July 1st. We will work with you if you're close to that number. Karen is really good about, you know, working with you individually. You know, if you're close to that, meeting that number, or sometimes she gets a hunch that, oh, we only have 10, and then, you know, I'm going to give it a couple days and then we meet the 12. So, we will work with you. But Karen does reach out to you for courses. I'll move on here. For in-person courses, it's 30 days out because we have to prepare for travel for the instructor. We have to prepare for materials to be ordered and sent to you as the coordinator. So 30 days out for in-person courses. And then if you're hosting in person, we send, along with the student workbooks, registration forms that need to be filled out. If there's sign-in sheets, that sort of thing, that all comes as part of our delivery of materials. The sign-in sheets have to be provided back to us, and the registration information within 24 business hours, because we need to do work on our end to close out that course so students can go in and complete the post work. And the post work is required if they want to earn credit on that class. So it's very important, if you're hosting in person, that those sheets get returned to us, to Karen at events@nigp.org within 24 hours. And just a note about scheduling, make sure you're giving yourself plenty of time so that you can market the class. We have over the years said 45 days minimum. Well, I kind of feel like 60 days is better because it does take some time for us to put out the call for instructors, get someone assigned, get the course into our database and post it on the website. So, you know, give yourself a couple of months at least. Unless you have something that you know absolutely 100% you're going to meet the minimums and it's 45 days out, we can work with you on that. Virtual courses are confirmed 7 days out. And when I say the word confirmed, Karen goes into the system and she looks at each course and how many people are registered. And then she'll reach out to you as the ProD chair and talk to you about your minimums, where you are, and how we move forward. Again, the instructor really kind of handles everything from the logistics standpoint. The virtual courses, all of the materials are in Aspire, which is our learning management system, and they're all electronic. So we're not shipping anything. Students access their materials through the LMS, and then the instructor sends back the roster confirming who attended and who didn't. And then once that's all verified, we open up the post work and Karen will close out the class. And if you hosted it, then you will get your 10% rebate in the following weeks. Okay, So keys to success, engage with your membership, talk to them about what information, what topics they're most interested in, what they're struggling with, what keeps them up at night. We have a lot of courses out there. So, we want to make sure that, you're talking to your folks, and if you plan to offer those offer courses, giving them what they're asking for. Again, we've got a lot of stuff out there on our own, that they can just go out there and search by topic very easily and see what we have scheduled. Pathways has been around for about 5 years now. That's what we call our curriculum, right? And so Pathways is really you focused. It's focused on the individual so that they can customize their professional development. And, everybody has unique goals, right? You might be starting out, and so you need to have different material or different learning than somebody who is maybe going into another area of procurement, that sort of thing. So there's lots of content for people who are at various levels of their career. There's multiple paths. We've got all these competencies. You can take the full foundation courses and get your PPA, or you can take some competencies that eventually will ladder up and get you some of those certificates. So Pathways is really all about the learner. And, it's an opportunity to network with others, even if you're doing it virtually. We've all been doing virtual meetings for a long, long time now. And so you get to meet new people and network, and also continue to earn credit toward certifications, recertifications, that sort of thing. So use your chapter newsletter. Website. Several of you now are on Club Express, which is an NIGP hosted website. And so we push a lot of information out to your sites. But if you're not with Club Express, use your website to make sure that the links are up to date, that it goes directly out to our site for folks to be able to register. Talk about it at your chapter meetings, discuss what folks might want to, have brought to their area. Social media, there's lots of folks using social media out there. And again, there's some tips in the toolkit for you as well. And if you're close to other chapters, or even if you're not, and you want to do kind of a midway kind of thing, if you're looking to go back to in-person, talk with other chapters in your area to see, what they're doing, and could you combine efforts? So these are just basic tips for sending email. You want to keep the subject line, kind of concise, no more than 60 characters, simple heading, don't miss this event coming soon. Our marketing team, and I guess it's best practice in the marketing industry, best days to do email or send emails are Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then, just kind of know what your members' habits are. If you talking to your members and you're like, I'm tired of getting your Tuesday emails, maybe do it on a Friday, and they get it first thing Monday morning when they come back from the weekend. Social media postings, best days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. People are most likely to read, do we call them tweets now that it's X? I don't even know. I'm not on it anymore, but they're most likely to read posts during the day. And we might need to update this Twitter thing, because I'm not sure if that's accurate anymore now that that Twitter doesn't exist as it once was. So we'll take a look at that and get that information revised if it's in the marketing toolkit. Excuse me. Any questions about hosting, marketing?
No, not so far. We've had a couple of inquiries about sharing slides and the recording, and this all will be put on the online resource library under webinars for chapters. And I will send that slide deck with the recording, as well as I'm making a list of all of the links that we've put into the chat to directly get to certain items that we're referencing, but we will share that with everybody.
Awesome. Thanks for keeping up with that. Okay, while you were talking, I checked to see if Charles is here, and
He's here.
Charles Taylor, the infamous Charles Taylor, our content development manager on NIGP staff, is here to talk to you about some exciting news and what's new with Pathways. So Charles, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, hi everybody. So introducing NAGP's new Introduction to Public Procurement course. It's a 2-day course. It covers the following objectives. These are we talked to a couple of experts, managers of procurement. And so, these kind of fall in line what they think are needed in a new course for introduction. That first objective though, ensure compliance and expectations. That's basically the first day of the first 2 days, because a lot of managers feel that's probably the most important thing for new folks to learn. This is the most activity-driven course that NAGP has developed. We figured that folks that are brand new to procurement probably need that practice. And so with that in mind, that's how we developed that course.
That's it? That's great. That's concise. So we know that intro has been question. It's been questioned for many years since Pathways started. When are we bringing back an intro? So we're happy to let y'all know that we do have that. We're Charles, have we piloted the first one yet, or is that coming up?
This one is planned for very early April. I think it's April 3rd is the first time we're going to run it. Yes.
Great. And then actually Telma Bearden from Arizona is hosting an in-person class, and she has filled it with 30 people and wants to expand that out to more, which Karen will talk to Telma about. But this is really an exciting opportunity, and I'm going to throw something out there for those of you that are on the call. We are looking to partner with up to 5 chapters who want to offer the Introduction to Public Procurement course in person in their area. And as an incentive to do that, you have to have 12 people. But NIGP will pay for lunch for the group. So if you're interested in that, reach out to me or Karen, and we'll see what we can do to get that done. This would be to get done through through the end of this fiscal year, so before June 30th. I know that's coming up quickly, but if you're interested in doing that, please let me know. The intro class is, correct me if I'm wrong, Charles, it's a special rate. I think it's 20% off of our normal rates. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so because this is new and we're sort of piloting and we're going to learn as we go from the offerings that are coming up in the next 6 weeks or so, we are actually going to offer that at a lower rate. So that's something to take advantage of if you'd like. We also have this course hosted as virtual, NIGP hosted. So if you know people who are interested in this course and you can't host it in person, we can't get it on the calendar for a virtual offering, NIGP is offering it. I think I saw 5 or 6 times between now and the end of June. So just keep that in mind. Any questions for Charles about the content?
Carrie, I have another question that's not about content though.
Okay, that's fine. We can move on to questions. Thank you, Charles. Appreciate you jumping in here and talking to us about that.
We did have somebody ask a question about, is there a survey template that they can use? That they're just not creating one on their own to survey their members. I know in the past we've done it or helped do it for chapters, but is there a template they can use?
So we have done this for chapters through our SurveyMonkey. Karen is more than happy to get that out to your chapter members. If you'll contact Karen directly, she can talk to you about what's on the survey, and then we just need to get a list of your chapter members and we'll send that out on your behalf. And then once we get the results, then she'll share those results with you. Certainly, if you want to do it on your own, Karen can tell you what our template looks like, what our questions are, and you can send that out directly to your chapter members. We find it easier to use SurveyMonkey. We just can't give everyone access to it. So Karen's happy to execute that for you.
Thanks, Carrie. Any other questions that maybe you don't want to put into chat or type into chat or take yourself off mute and ask while you've got us here?
I just wanted to mention that our membership is very excited about the Intro to Public Procurement class. And I just put a comment there. We sold it out, and even looking at increasing the capacity, but it's a very popular class, so we're excited about it.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And Trudy, I haven't forgotten about you. I owe you an explanation based on our conversation last week. So that's coming.
Perfect. I'll look for it. Thanks.
Okay.
April asked about whether that class in Arizona is virtual or in person.
It's in person.
In person.
But there are, I think we have 4 or 5, something like that, virtual courses out there. If you can't get to an in-person class, just go out to our website and just, again, to the learning drop down and search for a course and just put in introduction and they'll all pop up.
Yeah,
And
I think there's one a month going forward.
And I think that's just to reinforce the give back program. So if you're not hosting, but you may have just a handful of members or yourself that want to take it, please help encourage them to pick your chapter name so that you're getting that give back program rebate back to your chapter. Yeah, lots of things posting here in the chat with links to that intro class. So thank you, Caitlin and Charles. Any other questions for Charles on content, Carrie, Karen for hosting, Lisa?
Okay, I'd unmute myself. Okay, is the only new class the Intro to Public Procurement? There's nothing else that's new other than what we typically have so
Charles,
far in the.
can
We are
you,
working on other things, but that's the only thing we can announce right now is that introduction to procurement course. Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure that Karen, as you know, I do the matrix here for the state of Florida, and I have my cheat sheet which has the half-day class, the 1-day, 2-day, 3-day classes with the pricing and everything. So I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything else. So that was it.
Thanks, Lisa. Trudy?
I guess this is more of a question for Charles, because are you going to be bringing back the second portion of that class, the sourcing class? Because there used to be the intro to procurement and then sourcing in the public sector was that second class. Will that be coming back as well?
No, we think that course is pretty much covered pretty well within the sourcing contracting certificate. And so there are no plans moving forward to bring that class back.
Okay, great. Thank you.
We have a question. How much is the class per person? That's the intro class. Charles, do you have or anybody have the pricing for members versus non-member?
wait, I have
Yeah,
it.
if for the early bird discounts or whatever, for the intro class, members are $356, non-members are $436. The regular registration, 59 days or less. Member is $445 and non-members $545.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Lisa. You're hired. And that is with the discounted rate, Carrie. That's that 20% off.
Right, and then they get the 20% more if they register the 60+ days.
Yep. So a good benefit there. Any other questions? Good questions. Unmute yourself, put it in chat. Again, we will follow up with the recording, slide deck, and all of these links that we've provided to everybody. I can get that posted within the next couple of days on our website and get that to you all. But any other questions?
Is that discounted rate going to be forever, or is that just for this fiscal year?
So Charles, make me honest on this. My understanding is that it's going to be for a temporary amount of time until what course is going to go on demand, Charles?
We developed that introduction to public procurement that we're building that right now to be on demand. And when that course becomes on demand is when we will bring back up that original price.
Do you know when that is anticipated to happen? Are we talking 6 months? Do you have an idea?
We're looking at sometime probably after forum, 1 or
Okay.
2 months. Yeah.
Thanks.
Carrie, Karen, all you guys, do you want my course catalog, which has the pricing and all that information?
We have it. I just didn't pull it up. I don't
Okay,
have it
so,
pulled up.
okay, All right,
But
I just
thank
didn't know
you.
if you were gonna share it with the group or not, so. I was just offering.
We do have a document on, you know, Lisa, if you've got something that's handy and easy to look at, you know, send it to Jen and she can post it
Yep.
somewhere, but we have a document that's got current courses and what the pricing is and all of that stuff. So if anybody needs just kind of a cheat sheet like Lisa's talking about, I'm sure if you reach out to Lisa, she'll share it, but we also have something that we can share with you as well. If you reach out to Karen, she can send that.
Lisa, you can send it to me too. I can post it and share with everybody as well as just having another reference.
Okay, will do.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anything else? All right, Carrie, I didn't see anything else pop up.
Great. Well, thanks everybody for joining. Really appreciate it. Again, if you're new at this and you need some guidance, just reach out to Karen or myself. We're happy to help. Jen, you know, whoever you feel comfortable talking with. And if you have any questions at all, my team is here to assist. The best way to get a hold of us is to email events@nigp.org. My entire team is on that email box. So if one of us is out, someone else is paying attention to that. So that's the best way to get in touch with us. Let us know if we can do anything to assist you.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks, everybody. Appreciate your time today. Thank you, Carrie.
Carrie, stay on. Carrie, stay on.
Will do.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.